Alright, welcome back. And today I'm going to show you how to set up a Jira Service Management space real quick for you that has no knowledge whatsoever about Jira Service Management, but you need a tool to organize your work. You need a tool to organize the support intake that you guys get. Your inbox is a mess. We know that. You need to get it sorted, right? Okay, so today I'm gonna do a hold hand space creation, and you will have a nice portal sooner than you think, and for free if you have less than 3 people working with you. Let's get it started. What you want to do, you want to Google Jira Service Management and head to the Atlassian page. Then here you want to try it now and create your own account. What you end up with is something, maybe you end up with something like this. You end up on the admin portion of things. That's the admin panel. But if you want to go then to Jira Service Management, you just go under the 4 dots here and go under Jira Service Management. And as I mentioned to you, if you go under pricing here, you'll see that it's free up to 3 agents. There's some limitations, but it's free to start. That's what's important. You can always upgrade later. So let's go back to your space. That's probably what it looks like to you without this recent stuff here, because I've had some spaces already. But you want to click on the add button, go to Jira Service Management. You can start with the blank project or just get a template. Let's get the IT template for now. It's telling me that it will come with these forms. This thing here, it's a lie. I just tested and I didn't see this automation. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong place, but I will teach you how you can add this stuff, because it's very important and very convenient to have these automations. So let's use this template. Let's give it a name. Let's say IT. Oops, sorry, this is a key. Let's say IT support. And it's gonna suggest me a key. I'm gonna change to IT because I can change it. This is gonna be, for example, somebody submit your ticket is gonna be IT1, IT2, and so on and so forth. Open or restricted. This is important because if you were setting up a IT space for your internal customers, it means that you want to probably make this restricted. But if you're setting this up for any customer that you have, you probably want to have that open. That's important because if you make it restricted, it's going to restrict the email creation. But let's imagine that this is for a internal team. Let's imagine this is for IT. We'll make this restricted for now, and we're gonna create a project. We have to say what it's about. The team type, this doesn't matter too much, to be honest. I've never seen this impacting anything. It's more for classification. Let's say you have 50 projects. You want to have want to understand what's the type of projects that you have. Here it's telling you that okay, we offer you this following templates of forms. They call request types. So every form in Jira, it's called request types. Okay. Let's start simple. Let's remove all this. We don't want this all. We just want IT help because we want to get things moving fast. Let's use get IT help. Let's continue to the space. Now it's telling me to add it if I want. I'm not sure. I've seen this already twice. Even though I just said that I wanted the IT help, it's telling me you have the onboarding new employee as well. So if you don't want that, you can go and remove it. But first, let's see how the project looks like. If I go to the portal under the channel and services and view portal, now you already have your portal set up. It's there. So if I go here on the common request, get IT help, and say help, and then I send it, well, there you go. You have your first ticket. And if you hit on the ticket key, it will take you to the backend if you have a license and if you have access to this space. This is more for agents, not for the user. Okay, the user part, it's going to be this portal interaction. That's where your customer will interact with you, but your agent will look into the tickets from the backend. Right now, I can see here that I am on the IT support space. Uh, by the way, Aladdin shifted everything to the left. It's very cluttered. I don't like it, but we will have to deal with that for now. And I go to the queues, default, all open, and I can see here my first ticket, right? Um, what Okay, maybe this time is gonna work because I can see that alas that this is using the right workflow now. Let's see the automation because I just mentioned that the template automation was not working. But if we go to the space settings and look under the hood, let's see the automation. So let's look under the rules. Well, I don't see the automation that will change the status when, let's say, you reply to the user. You want the status of the ticket to change to waiting for customer, and then when they reply back, you want the ticket status to change for waiting for support. This is very important. So let's go back to the space settings here, and I can see the all op let's open the ticket. Let's see how it looks like. Let's say I'm an agent now. This is consuming some of my real estate. I'm gonna click in here. So this is the button that you can show and hide, or this part here is gonna be, if you hover over, it's gonna show. But yeah. So this is the ticket. Well, I need help. This is the description of the ticket. As an agent, I can add a comment. I can add an internal note. You can see that it's yellow, right? Good indication that it's internal. If I reply to customer, ideally we want this status here to change to waiting for a customer. Right now, it's waiting for support. We want to change this waiting for customer once the agent types a reply. A caveat here is that I am testing with the same account that I submit a ticket, and the reporter of the ticket, this ticket here, it's the same user as the agent replying. So the automation might get crazy because what the automation does, it checks if the user that triggered the action, the comment, it's a customer or an agent. So I'm gonna try to just say the reporter is anonymous, and I'm gonna assign to my user. Let's see if this will do the trick. But remember that I looked at and I didn't find the automation, so that could be the problem. So let's do this. Hey, what is the issue? So the user now got an email saying Pragmateki replied to you, and he's saying what is the issue. I won't be able to show right now because I set as anonymous to see if the status is going to change. So it's still saying waiting for support. If I view in the portal, I can see here that the reply, the customer reply is in here, but the internal reply is not in here. So who can see the customer reply? Anybody from the, which is the assignee or a participant on the ticket. Where is the participant? I just set up this. There you go. Request participant. So anyone that is in here, and the assignee can see any customer facing notification. The internal notes only agents that have a license and access to this space. So let's try to fix this automation here because this is very important, right? So let's go to the automation part. You go to IT support, space settings. Let's go to automation. And let's create a new automation. What we want to create an automation, it's from scratch. You want to add the trigger is the comment. I'm not gonna go over in details about automation, what is a trigger, what is an if statement, what is an action. You can just copy what I'm doing to make things work. So work item commented, so it's here you're just telling the system whenever a comment is added, you're gonna trigger this rule. Now we want to add an if statement. You want to add an if else statement, and here we're going to add a condition. The condition here, it's going to be a user condition. So we're going to say whoever triggered the event is a customer. Let's add another condition just to make sure that this automation just run when the ticket is on the status waiting for customer, because that's when we want to move the status from waiting for customer to waiting for support, when the user adding the comment is a customer and the ticket is on the waiting for customer status. So let's add another condition here. So the status it's equals to waiting for customer. There you go. So we have a trigger. User comment. A comment is added. We have the first check. Is the commenter a customer? And the third check is the status of the ticket on waiting for customer, which means that we want to move to waiting for support. Then if it passes all, then we will want to action. Let's see, transition. There you go. So we want to transition to waiting for support. There you go. So we want this to happen, and then we're gonna add an else because we want to say if the comment is added by an agent, we want to change from waiting for a customer to from waiting from support to waiting for customer. So let's do the same thing. Let's do the user condition. So the user who triggered the event. It's not a customer, it's an agent. Then we want to again add another condition here. We're gonna do the status again, and I'm gonna say it's does not equal to waiting for customer, because if it's the same scenario, right? The agent sent one comment, the ticket moves for waiting for customer. Then if I'm adding another comment, the system will say I can't transition to waiting for customer to waiting for customer. There's no transition. So we're gonna say only trigger if the status of the ticket is not already on waiting for a customer. Perfect. Then what we want to do, if it passes this, we want to transition the work item to waiting for customer. Great. That's a turn on the rule. So always give a very descriptive name. So in my case, it's changing the status when comment is added. Imagine that you want to find this rule, so you want to update it. It's easy to be found. Like right now, it doesn't matter. You have one automation, but you might end up with hundreds of automation. Believe me. So turn on the rule. So now let's test it. If I go back to the ticket, so again, this might not work because the creator of this ticket, it was an agent, right? But right now the reporter it's a anonymous. So waiting for support, let's try it. So if I go to the portal, again, I will see the new comment. There you go. You already see the change. Waiting for customer. It worked. So if I go back to the ticket, it's waiting for customer. And how do I know that this was changed by that automation? Well, if you go under here, you can see, if you refresh, you can see all the automations that affected this ticket. This is very useful. So if I go in here, I can see that's the automation that affected my ticket. And I can see the audit logs. There we go. I can see what happened here. I can expand all these logs. Okay. You have a portal, right? If you want, let's say I want to remove everything. I don't want all this. I just want the get IT help to make things easy. So you go to portals here, portal groups. You can just go ahead and, let's say I'm gonna delete all that. Now you can see that they're all hidden here. Okay, the only one that is available under the common request is get IT help. So since we just have one group, if you go to the view portal, you won't see any grouping because there's only one group. So every time you land on the IT support space, you will see just that request type, and here it is, the form that people can use to request you some support. Now, if you make this project restricted, you will have to add people in here. So all you can do, you can go under access, people and access. I'm going to add myself in here. I'm going to say this is a service desk customer. I'm going to add. So here you're saying that one new license has been added to Jira. And I just checking the billing here, and it says that I still have one agent, and I'm under the free plan. So I'm not sure why I got that warning. So there you go. There is the invitation. I can accept the invite. Now I have access to come here and submit a ticket. Test from. So now we have two new tickets from another person, not Pragmatech anymore, from a customer, and we can test that functionality, the automation. So I can say here, hey, and then we can check how the customer notification will look from a customer point of view. That's how they will get the notification. So I just replied from my account. That reply should land here, and the ticket should change to waiting for support. And there we have it. The ticket, it changed to waiting for support. The nice thing is that it see that I've replied for my email. It had some signature on my email. It hides the signatures, so you just see the main part of the message. One thing you don't want is to spam your user, your customer, with notifications that are not relevant. So, for example, if the ticket changed its status to waiting for customer or waiting for support, you don't want the notifications to ping the user, hey, your ticket changed its status. So here's something that you don't want. You don't want this kind of notification. You don't want the user to say, is to receive an alert and say, hey, this was changed, the status was changed on a ticket. So how do you prevent that? Well, let's go back to your IT support space settings, and then under the customer notification, you want to disable some of them. So we want to disable. I want to disable I like to disable request created, but that's not that as harmful. This is when like the user send the request, so you can see here what it says. So it says just confirming we got your request, we are on it. This is not as harmful as the other ones. What I would probably disable request reopen, I would probably disable this because all the user cares is that they will be answered. There you go. This one here, I'll disable this one. Customer visible status changed, because this is the most inefficient one. That makes no sense to have this one. It's very important that you try to not spam your users with notifications that are not needed, because what will happen is that people will create a filter and will filter out Jira notifications, and that's something that you don't want. So there you go, you have the very basic portal created, right? You invited people to submit ticket. You create an automation that can change the status of the ticket to waiting for support and waiting for a customer, so you can kind of manage things a bit better. So the last thing that I'm gonna cover is how you create queues, because queues is where you can kind of organize the tickets that you have. So that's where you can say, okay, I'm going to add the critical open tickets assigned to me in one queue, something like that, right? Or you want to say, I want to separate all the tickets that are waiting for support from all the tickets that are waiting for a customer, so they don't kind of are in the same place. Okay, so let's see how we can create some queues and organize your work. So here we are. We have these 3 queues here by default. As you can see, 2 of my tickets are waiting for customer, so there's nothing I can do there. There's one waiting for support, which would be nice if we could separate that. Let's go under queues, 3 dots here. Let's go under queue settings, and we are going to create a new queue. We're gonna call this queue waiting for customer, and we're gonna set this up with the basic, not with the JQL, because we want to do basic stuff on this video. So the basic here, you're gonna say I want to show all the tickets that are unresolved. You don't want to see the resolved tickets here, and the status is waiting for customer. Now I can see 2 tickets. Okay, I can create this queue. If you want, you can just favorite this queue. Let's say you want to favorite all open as well. So there you go. So you have the all open queues and they're waiting for customer. But the all open is still a bit messy, right? So let's create another queue that's waiting for support. Then you have the all open, and you have waiting for support and waiting for customer. So you can do the same thing, right? You go under the queues, 3 dots, queue settings, create new queue. You do the waiting for support, and then you change the status, waiting for support. There you go. Then you create this queue, and then you hit the start button. All right, so last but not least, what is the life cycle of a ticket? Well, you got a ticket, you have your queue set up. Now, what do you do with the ticket? So let's take a look at the system again. Let's go to the waiting for customer, waiting for support, sorry. This one is waiting for support, and if you go in the ticket, let's collapse this one here so we can have more real estate. You can see that this is the workflow. The ticket gets created, go to waiting for support, then you can talk to the user back and forth. Then you can go from waiting for support, you can escalate the ticket, you can put in progress, pending, and you can close it. So let's imagine that it's now waiting for support and you need to escalate this to somebody, let's say to your manager. So you just escalate the ticket. Now the ticket will be escalated. Now you can, let's say you can have another queue to say escalated tickets with where your manager is looking into that. Then let's say somebody assigned to them and say, okay, I'm gonna work on this ticket. You can see here that you can only move the ticket to in progress, and that's because here the transitions from escalated can only go to in progress. You can't go anywhere else. Okay, so that's why you can see only one option from escalated to in progress. If you put in progress, then you will have more options. So you can see the workflow here from in progress. You can see the arrows where it can go. So you can cancel the request. You can resolve the ticket. So let's take a look in here. So here you can just go and resolve. Say this has been fixed. Resolve the ticket. Now, if you have the notification to say when the issue is resolved, send a notification. That probably is a sorry, here you need to set as a resolution. You can do this by automation as well, so you don't have to pick every time. But let's say you want to track the resolution of the ticket. Let's say this one here was done. So as I was mentioning, if you have the customer notification for resolved tickets, I would probably disable that as well, because you want to resolve the ticket and send a nice and closure message, so you don't need two notifications, right? So there you have it. You have the resolved ticket. There's no ticket waiting for support. You can see here under the all open, that ticket is gone. Then you can probably see this is another problem, that you need to set up a new queue for all the tickets that are resolved, because there is no queue. So that ticket is kind of either the key, or it's hard to find a ticket. So you know how to set up a queue. You just need to say, give me all the resolved tickets into a resolved queue. There you go. So now you got a ticket. You know how to handle a ticket, how the ticket goes through the status, and why you can see some transitions and why you can't see others. And that's the part of the workflow which I will be cover on another video. On the next video, I'm gonna show how you can link your email to a Jira project. So you don't have to set up a portal, for example, if you don't want to. You can just receive all the intake coming from your email inside your Jira project. Then you can create the organize all the queues, and so you create the automation the same way. But the only difference is that you don't have a form. You just, every email you get goes into Jira. It becomes a ticket. You handle all your inbox within Jira. But that is another video for another day. Okay. Well, that's again was a very basic video. I hope that this can get you started with the Jira Service Management. If you have any question, any suggestion of new content that you want to see, that you don't know how to do, and you want to leverage, let me know. I can create a video for that. Take care. Have fun.